Hey everybody, how's it going? I am sitting in the car rider line. Such a joy. It's like there's a car rider line Nazis here. So the car rider line used to be a trigger for me, but now I'm trying to head that all off so they don't bother me anymore. Today I want to talk about something I channeled yesterday, which was weird at the time. I was trying to take like a little nap while my son was playing video games, but usually I don't have lucid dreams or really vivid dreams unless I go to sleep for a long time, at least like an hour or more. But this time I had two little snapshot kind of dreams in a very short period of time, and one was my uncle and one of his best friends who I haven't seen come around in a while, so that was kind of shocking. Of course I know that he's involved in this just because he's associated, but my door opened to my room in my dream, and this white dog, sorry I gotta pull up, this white dog came running in. I'm gonna hit somebody. This white dog came running in and jumped on the bed and did like a few circles, and then my uncle and his friend were trying to get the dog out of the room, and then that was it. But the dog was like white and shaggy and kind of a small, not tiny, but like a small dog. And I love dogs. I see dogs in my dreams sometimes, but this dog I have never seen before, and it was really weird because I know my uncle doesn't have a dog, and I don't know about his best friend, but I don't think he has a dog either. But this morning, someone on the Ring app, if you're on the Ring app and you get like notifications for your neighborhood, someone in the neighborhood was looking for a dog just like the one I saw in my dream. And I wanted to tell these people they're probably not going to get their dog back, which is really sad. And also this dog it's older, so it's hard of hearing and it doesn't see very well, so this would be like a prime candidate for a dog to be taken because the dog's not going to be on high alert. I really hope they find their dog, but the chances are pretty slim, I'm thinking. And then even somebody got on there and was like saying something about coyotes and how coyotes probably got it, so they were trying to get this person to give up on looking for their dog, which I'm sure that they have sacrificed dogs. They've run out of other animals to sacrifice. I know that my uncle puts food out into the yard for the birds and squirrels and stuff to eat, and most of the time it was food that he had offered to me, so I felt like it was already tainted with something. And I used to sit outside when I first moved in, like a lot, and I loved doing that because there were so many animals out there, and birds would just fly up to me, and chipmunks would just come up to me like all the time. So many birds, like a million birds out there. And once he started putting the food out, like all of the animals started to disappear, and me and my son, we had jokes about the animals talking to each other and calling each other by name. It's really silly, but we would be like squirrels talking to each other like, Frank, don't go in that yard because Lois died last week after eating that pizza that man put out. And that's not funny, but it was just our way of like coping with it because we both really love animals, and they all started to disappear after he started to feed them. I feel like he didn't have much luck trapping any, and then he just started to pull a mass genocide of the animals in the yard. And that's so sad to me because I even don't like to kill like spiders or wasps or anything. And that's another thing, there was like a wasp infestation a few weeks ago in the house, and I'm not sure if he put them there or they found their way in, but there were at least like 13 wasps, and these things were huge. And the first one kind of lingered for a few days, and then finally I got it out the front door with a broom. And then I started to notice my uncle wasn't using the door in the den, and I looked over there, and there was like 11 of them and he had started to kill them, but I was opening the door and I got literally all of the 11 wasps that I saw outside safely with the broom. And then he tried to talk to me about the one that was still kind of hanging out in the dining room, and I was like, yeah, I've been getting them outside. Then they don't bother you. And he's like, they will if you sit on one, trying to scare me. And I was like, well, I don't think I'm gonna sit on one, but I'm unbothered by the wasps. So anyway, that was really weird. I've never seen that many wasps in one house at one time ever in my whole life. But also with the coyotes, we don't live in an area where there's a bunch of coyotes. I mean, there is country. We do have countryside close to us, but I've never seen wild animals in the streets or neighborhoods other than deer here, and maybe a fox every now and then, but that was when I lived at the very foot of the mountain. So the mention of coyotes was kind of ridiculous. Anyway, I want to talk about Stockholm Syndrome, because I feel very much like I've had Stockholm Syndrome with my ex-husband and with my family, and this is something that's very hard to break away from, because you will have sympathy for your captor or your abuser in a lot of cases, and they will say things to manipulate you. They will, say that you're sorry, they're sorry for hurting you, and this is the reason why they hurt you, because they've been hurt. And of course they've been hurt. That's why they do it. But you can't just listen to their words. You have to listen to their actions, and whether they're willing to change, whether they're willing to get help or do the work on themselves. And if you just listen to the words, you will definitely fall into this category of Stockholm Syndrome, because they will sweet talk you, they will love bomb you, they will create crises like where they need you or make you think that you need them. And it's literally every man for himself out here. If they're not willing to do the work on themselves, then you need to let that fall away, because you can't be responsible for bringing them up. My uncle, whenever I would confront him about something that he did in the past, and this is before we were in this situation, he would always pretend to drum up some tears and say, well, that's why I'm always alone, or that's why I'm always going to be alone. And I eventually started saying, yeah, you're always going to be alone, because you're not working on yourself. All you're doing is telling me this, but there's no evidence that you're trying to change. So it's going to keep happening, and it's not going to keep happening to me. I'm not going to keep standing by and letting you use this excuse on me just so that I will continue to be there for you or be the only person that's there for you. At some point, you have to put your big boy pants on and do the work, and he's never done that. I feel like this health crisis that he's gone through recently, I'm sure it's valid. I mean, he does have heart issues, but he came home yesterday and got on the roof and started cleaning out the gutters. And if he has a serious heart condition, that's probably not a good idea to do, but he got up there and pulled it off like a champ, like nothing had ever happened. So that was kind of weird, because enough time has passed where he's seen that I'm not going to jump to his aid like I usually do. And don't let these people manipulate you. I know it might not even be a captor situation. It could be where somebody's holding you hostage, but a mental prison is the same thing. And you will feel bound to these people because you don't want to hurt them worse, and you are praying for them to get better, and you're thinking that you can help them do that, and you trauma bond with them. Stockholm Syndrome is very much trauma bonding and PTSD. So please try to get some professional help for that. Pray for that. Don't stay a victim. Be a survivor. Be a survivor for yourself, for your children. Don't perpetuate that cycle of letting them see you get abused, and then in turn them thinking that that's okay, and then they go on to treat other people, their spouses or their friends or their loved ones, whomever they may be. Don't let them perpetuate that cycle and put forward abuse into the next generation. Try and make it end with you. Don't let them sweet talk you. Don't feel like it's your problem to solve. Don't get stuck in that cycle, because you'll be there forever, literally. And I've seen this happen to so many people. And even after my divorce, I still thought I wanted to be with him. I probably started hanging out with him and spending time with him again, I don't know, 4 or 5 times after we broke up, because I thought, well, he might have changed, or he might be ready to treat me right now. And I know what he's been through in his life, so I'm going to give him a pass. No, don't do that. Please don't do that for yourself. Don't do that for your children. Don't be that example for other people. Be a good example to other people that they can be strong and they can be a survivor and they can leave those situations behind. Don't let that be your story. Fight for yourself and let them worry about their traumas. Let them worry about what they need to fix. I would just leave it behind for good. Even if they do change, let them move on with somebody else and break free of that. My son's about to get in the car, so I'm going to end this for now. I've had cakes to do today, so I don't have as much time to make the video. And my uncle has been trying to talk to me at home, and I'm just straight up ignoring him. There's no more communication, no more contact. I don't even want to be in the same room with him anymore. So I encourage you guys to do the same. Just cut that shit off. Be free of it. I love you guys. God loves you, and you're never alone. I'll talk to you later. Bye.